Paddy Joe, it's been a while. Thank you very much for coming on.
No worries, bro.
When was the last time we spoke? It must have been, as far as I remember, it was in a bar about a year and a half ago.
Yeah, it was probably just bumping into each other in the town lately. That's pretty much my life is just up, work, home. That's it. Nothing really else in between.
I know it's felt like even now, rarely would I go out. A few drinks last Saturday night to sort of celebrate self isolation, and then I was out. I couldn't tell you the last time, but yeah, like I say, thanks for coming on. Why don't you start? Basically, take the floor for 4 or 5 minutes. Tell us who you are, what you're all about, your business, yourself, what you enjoy.
So my name's PJ Black, sometimes known as Patrick. But essentially what I do is I own a couple of businesses. I run a gym in Belfast City Centre. I run an online mentoring program for personal trainers who are qualified, teaching them how to run a business. And then I also run a fitness providing company where I train people to become personal trainers. So three businesses. I've been doing that for the last, or running the gym anyway, for the last 10 years. Big into fitness, have always been in and around sport. Decided when I went to university that I was going to do business, and decided after 2 years that it wasn't for me, and decided to start a gym with a friend, and it's been going ever since. So it's been usually every 2.5 to 3 years that we've expanded from 250 square foot box room to a 2,500, 3-floor unit to now a 5,200 square foot open plan unit. And yeah, it just keeps continuing to get bigger and bigger. So yeah, that's me in a nutshell. My life is my work. I don't socialize a lot anymore unless it's with, my, my staff, or even just, my clients, which can seem a bit sad, but like when you love what you do, it makes it 10 times easier.
I was just going to say that because when you start integrating work with personal life, people ask me why I work so much, and see, to be honest, like I would consider this work because this is obviously talking about brand building and doing that sort of stuff. I enjoy it. Like I don't enjoy some aspects of it, which I've now delegated to other people. But the things that I do enjoy doing, and the things that I do every day, and when you can integrate that with your personal life, your fitness and your health, and then obviously your work as well, and whatever you're doing, it's you do get up and you have a lot more energy to get up early and get to go to work, get to meet good people, and just basically like 16-hour days just don't feel like work at all.
Yeah, especially when you're getting the reward, like the running a business and an entrepreneurial sort of lifestyle type thing. It's not for everybody. We constantly, myself and Lenny, put on, these little infographics of what it feels like to be a business owner. 1 minute you're on top of the world, you're fucking, you're going to make all sorts of money, you're helping so many people. Next day, you're nearly ready to close and you're tearing your hair out. And we sat down with our staff, I think about a year ago, and we were talking to them openly, and we wouldn't share a lot with the staff in terms of like what's going on with the gym. And we actually turned around and says everything that we faced in the last 10 years has, strengthened us. It's built resolve, resilience to take on any task that will come at us. My partner always going to me, why does these things not faze you? And I'm like, listen, I've pretty much been on death's door multiple times, and I'm still here. I'm still standing. I'm still pushing, because as Ray Dalio, he has an awesome book called Principles, is if you don't have principles, then what will happen is when you do get that, kick on the nuts, you're going to fall and wither away. Where if you truly believe in the project that you have, and it, it can help people, you should be screaming it from the rooftops. That people always ask me how I got my first clients. I'd have met you in a bar and I'd talked so much about training, loved it. I'd been giving you help. You'd been talking to me about your training. And what naturally happened was people were just enthused. He's like, fuck, he really enjoys what he does. I wasn't trying to sell anybody. I was just like, fucking love fitness. Like I love training. Like, brilliant. Oh, try this exercise. You should do this. And then people were just naturally gravitating towards you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's how I got started. I still love it today. I love teaching, and giving back, essentially.
Yeah, and you were saying there, obviously every 2 or 3 years you expand. I've only been in business 3 years. The first year was great. The second year was a bit more difficult. The third year were really stuck because I was planning on expanding. And as you know, when you're self-employed, you can get a bit. You know how things run when you're self-employed, but as you're trying to scale up, you need you need a completely different skill set to scale up a business and start hiring staff and putting systems and processes in place. And that's the part that really phased me last year. And then this year we were just on track to do something, and then all of a sudden you get a knock. But how did you go from that transition? That did you start with group session, wasn't it, in a boxing club, and then
Yeah, we started with small fitness classes and just expand from there. Myself and Lenny were still working in jobs while running this as a side hustle. I was still working in the PEC in Queens, while still working in bars and doing everything. And any money we got, we put in the equipment. And then we were just training our friends in the Dockers gym, getting some amazing transformations. And it was just people, we were doubling the membership of the Dockers because people just wanted to come and train with us. And we weren't charging them at the time. We were just like, fuck right, if you want to come and train with us, like, come. And then it just sort of snowballed from there. But for me, it was probably about 2 or 3 years in when we started taking on staff in terms of admin staff and other staff, that those problems that you're talking about and scaling really, really started to hit home. I've been pretty much a jack of all trades. I remember speaking to my business mentor, and he was like, one of the questions he asked me is like, how would you label yourself? And that's what it was. It was a jack of all trades. And also, if you're familiar with football and you follow, Eric Cantona and stuff like that, the Didier Deschamps quote, where he called him a water carrier.
right?
So he says, Didier Deschamps, you're nothing but a water carrier. And if anybody's familiar with soccer, pretty much he was the linchpin, centre midfield, just did all the dirty work, all the donkey work. And pretty much that's what I do. I was lucky enough to speak in front of a load of students in the BMC. The tutor had this amazing, slide about all my accomplishments, everything I achieved, and I just pointed to it, and they're obviously of legal age. I went, that there is bullshit. Okay, that is dick swinging. That's a list of achievements which mean nothing. I will be the first person in my gym on my hands and knees scrubbing the toilets. I'll be the first person in my gym there to train you. I'll be the first person in the gym there to, make sure that your experience is the best that it can be, and I'll be the last one that leaves that door. Yeah. So, and letting go of that was really difficult. Even just letting go of emails, sales calls, like all this thing. So I just took it all on board. And
an ego thing, isn't it? It's
you can trust yourself. That's it. You know that if you do it, you'll do it the way that you want it done. And it's only been the last couple of years where we have a phenomenal team. And a couple of books have really helped me with that transition. If you followed Richard Kiyosaki, Rich Dad Poor Dad,
yeah,
and he talks about the cash flow quadrant.
Yeah, I've read both of them.
Good, yeah, phenomenal books. Yeah, and 95% of the wealth is on the side of people who are investors and business owners and entrepreneurs, right? Only 5% of the wealth and 95% of the workforce is on people who are employed and self-employed. And the problem with self-employed people is that they think that no one can do the job as good as them.
Yeah.
And that's what keeps them in that bubble.
Yeah. You know what? Just something you said, like that really hit home for me last year, because for the first time, I took on a personal coach the year before. It was really helped me with work-life balance, and which is something I really struggle with. You helped me with different things and helped me a little bit with business. But then I took on an actual business coach last year, and in the space of a couple of months, just by setting up a structure of how we were going to sell and how we were going to, put through quotes and what we should be charging and how we should be charging. Because before I came into this industry, I had zero experience. I just kind of, like you, just kind of started to make a few extra quid in the job. And then all of a sudden you're like, right, well, where do I want to branch in here? Do I want to branch into clearance contracts, or do I want to branch into removals? And I was like, well, the clearance is very price based because there's not much you can deliver in terms of value in terms of doing clearance work. But with removals, you can offer a lot more for people's money, and you can do a really, really good job and really impress them. So I decided to branch into that, hired the coach, and trying to let go of this and that and the other. And do you know what? Once you let go of it, it's pretty easy.
Yeah, and that's it. It's the preconceptions in your head. It's starting off with an idea and not knowing how to market and sell it. You know, most people out there in most markets have a niche. So instead of you being another guy with a van and going, okay, I'm a guy with a van. Okay, well, can you pick up fucking horses, or can you remove this house? Can you do this? Can you do this clear content? You know, you're specializing in a niche. So when someone needs a house removal, they know that it's you. It's the same way that even though 95% of our populace is weight loss, there's still some people there who are in for injury rehab, for muscle building and so forth. But my niche is weight loss. I help business professionals get in shape and stay in shape without giving up the social lives. So I niche down on that because I'm that type of person. You know, I work X amount of hours. You know, if I can do it, other people can do it.
Yeah.
And we show them those structures and systems they have in place. But as you say, the business coach was the game changer for us for the last 4 years. And we have invested probably guts of 25 grand plus on business coaches. You know, I have
returns.
Yeah, and that's it. People go, is it worth it? I'm like, fuck yeah, 1,000,000%. You know, like my current coach at the minute, I pay £500 a month, right? For some people, maybe a lot. It's not based on what it is. You know, I sat there and I sold 7 people this week. It's got me £700. It's paid for him. Like, you know, and I know I've still got the rest of the month to make a bunch of sales that is going to help me. I was sitting there on Sunday night and I was like, got 10 calls to make. And he's like, what are you doing? I was like, I'm just chilling out here. Go and make the fucking calls. Go and do what you said you were going to do. And someone to keep you accountable. Mate, it is a game changer. And I'm sure, as you say, you've noticed that with your business.
Yeah, it was more the pricing structure. You know, I was just kind of firing out prices of people and doing, you know, we were just, everything was hourly rate, you know, hourly rate. And yes, things are all right, but if something doesn't, so I just moved into packages work. This is probably similar to what you guys do. You know, you've got your hourly rate as personal trainer, but I'm sure you guys have packages, you know, monthly, whatever, and you get X amount per week. But then so once I moved into that, and then I started learning how to actually sell it, then it was a complete game changer. And I seen the sales double within the first couple of months. And that was when I decided, right, I'm going to invest in new equipment. We're going to step up the service even further. We're going to offer free bits and pieces here. I'm going to take on another staff member. And then we obviously bought a second van, and I have plans to buy a third. Well, I did have plans to buy a third one by the end of the year. But what, you know, it was literally within the space, because we knew we were doing at that stage. You know, you're good at what you do. You kind of know how to do things, but the business stuff around it, the marketing, the selling, the pricing structure, all, and the admin, the systems, all that sort of stuff was new to me. And like I said earlier on, you need a completely different skill set to do that stuff than to just do your
it's getting out of that workers mentality and looking at it from a business perspective, you said. And for me, I constantly educate our coaches and even the guys who we mentor on from first port of contact. So if we talk about MSF, that myself and John talk a lot about marketing, sales and fulfillment. On this marketing side, like we reiterate to our clients, our staff, what the standard operating procedures are, what my job is, what their job is. So as you get better at that, you niche down. So when we look at a marketing perspective, we look at organic and paid traffic. We look at like what port of call they're coming in from, application forms or social media, whatever it is. We niche down on social media. We build a massive email list. But as you said, and something I'm interested from what you said there is, we were both exchanging time for money. And there is only a certain amount of time that you can, leverage per day, which means I needed staff in there who were going to actually make me money. So for example, you know, our personal training packages are quite expensive, right? They could be more expensive. I should be charging more, like, I'm talking 40 quid an hour, right? But I should be charging more. And the reason why is I don't want to do it. When someone goes to me, I'll give you £500 to train me, I was just like, no. And they're like, are you insane? I'm like, listen, my time's worth way more than that. I have, people on average will pay us between 147 to 197 a month. Even if they were paying me £100 and I had 10 people in a class, okay, at 3 times a week, that's £1,200. That's potentially £120 an hour that I'm making, which I pay my coach, 12 to 15 pound an hour. I don't even need to be there.
Yeah.
So the most important thing is it's not that you're constantly selling. You have something that is bringing you what Richard Kiyosaki would call a passive income, a recurring income that is constantly being streamed into your business, even if it is a little bit less. Even if you're offering those packages, but you're getting a retainer fee.
You're freeing up time. That's the main issue. It's less than what you make per hour. But that's built into us from a young age. Work hard. And I'm still in that stage where I am working hard, but I'm working hard on different things, and my time's not being charged per hour. And when people specifically ask me, like, my guys are better than me at doing removals, like they're better. And now and again, you get someone who will say to me, can you come out? And I'd say, look, my time's charged at £75 an hour plus the van hire plus the guys, and that turns them off pretty quickly. So it's now and again I'll jump out and do it because maybe someone calls in sick, or there's extra things that we've had to take on, or there's been delays or whatever. But you're still not looking at your time being charged per hour. You're looking at what your business is making per month, how much it's costing you to do a job, how much it's costing you on staff, and then all of a sudden, then you can sort of work around that. Once you know the numbers, you can tweak them and track them, which is again another big learning process for me, which I've been learning a lot about over the last 6 months. But yeah, and that gives you the flexibility to work on the things you need to scale up to.
That's it. When you know where the hidden cash is in your business and where you're losing time. One of our mentors, Craig Ballantyne, he has an awesome thing of things that he doesn't like doing that he could save himself 10 hours in a week. And we had a mastermind there recently in Sleeve Donard, and Lenny was delivering on things that you like to do, things that you shouldn't be doing, things that you hate to be doing, things that other people could be doing. And we put it into something like a cash flow quadrant, and we just wrote down a couple of things. And I actually joined in, and he was like, "Are you writing that down?" And I was like, "Yeah." He says, "What do you hate doing?" I was like, "I hate giving my staff a bollocking, right? I hate fucking coming in and just ripping into them, going, why is this not done? Why do I feel like I'm doing your job?" and so forth, right? The other thing was, where could I save myself a shitload of hours was not training people. So I would pretty much do the one-on-one sessions, and that was only because we had grown so quick in such a short space of time that we couldn't find a coach that would gel well with the team. So we're a very much a close-knit team. No one comes into that unless my staff have an equal say. I will not hire someone unless they go through due diligence, they get on with my staff, and staff give feedback, and then it's like, okay, if they're a good fit, we'll talk money with them. And we just couldn't find somebody that was going to be a right fit for our methodology and what way we did things, and who could buy into what we wanted. So it became the point where I had to work more hours. So I was like, I could save myself 40 hours a week not doing this, and where could those hours be better served? And basically what we do now, like I was saying to you before, from the first touch point, from that person coming in contact to us, to me getting on a call with him or having a meeting, selling them into a program, what happens from there? It's a process of me contacting my admin, her uploading all the details, sending out relevant files, whatever it is. If that person's starting late, how can I give the person on the other line who's signed up for my product, how can I give them value straight away? Okay, so here's what we're going to do. As soon as they walk through that door, they're getting a t-shirt, a card, like a little thank you gift. If they're in a PT, they're getting this little welcome pack. I'm going to send them out stuff, straight away. So even if they're starting a week later, 2 weeks later, whatever it is, I want to make sure that it lands on their door and, they're thinking about us. They're going, fuck me, they really think. Then the next touch point, as soon as they start training, 10 to 14 days later, they're getting a call or they're getting a meet up with me. How you getting on? Like, I hear you're enjoying it, anything we can improve upon. After the 30 days, a touch point again, because if you ever follow Joey Coleman's book, Never Lose a Customer Again, the first 100 days are the most critical. The more touch points that you have with that client within 100 days, the more likely they are to become a customer for life.
Yeah.
And Zappos are a great representation of that. How can you be flamboyant? How can you be top of their mind awareness? So whenever they think, you know what, I need a trainer, it's non-negotiable. Every other gym is trying to charge you through the nose for a product that you're not even using or serving. I have people pay me extortionate amounts of money every month. They're not turning up. I contact and just go, I'm cancelling your membership. Why? It's just like, because you're not using my product, and I'm not here to rinse you. I'm here to get you results. So you either get in the gym or, you move on. But
It's
most of the time,
very powerful to be able to do that though as well. It sends out a big message to your current clients and potential future clients. You want people who are going to get results. Yes, of course, your business has to make money, but I mean, I've turned away a lot of people for work because they just knew they were going to be very difficult to deal with. And we have a set structure as well, the way we like to do things when we go in, and it's done to a really high standard. And people go and start calling the shots. I'm like, look, maybe we're not the company for you, and that sends a very powerful message to people.
Yeah, people before profits. And like when I was saying there about the staff, me giving them a ballot, and that came down to my fault. If you ever read another amazing book, Extreme Ownership, from Jocko Willink and Leif Babin, they pretty much stated,
great book.
Yeah, the ownership falls onto you as a leader. Like if someone does something in your business that is not something that you agree with, it's because you haven't told them that they cannot do that, or there's not a certain way to do that. And you can call that controlling, or you can look at it as making sure that every aspect of my business, like every one of the jobs that need to be done, my staff know. And we have constant, staff meetings and feedback, and it's always evolving. And it's like, how can we improve? Because if we're standing still, there's somebody who's going to overtake us, and there's going to be this new breed. And I've been saying this for about the last 10 years. The biggest trend in any industry that I have seen in the last 10 years, this goes across the board, is honesty and integrity. That is the number one thing for any business that is thriving at this moment in time, because what's happening is you can always sell someone a dud product. You can always sell somebody a dud service once. Yeah. But they're never going to come back and buy that service again. And the great thing with that is they can go on and give you a Facebook review, they can give you a Yelp review, they can give you a Trustpilot, a Google review, and pretty much that's going to sting your business. So if you rip somebody off once, other people are going to see that. Whereas if we put people first and we say, listen, I'm going to try my best to make sure that you get the best experience possible. Yeah. Like, I don't want you to think of fitness as coming in and sweating. I want you to think of, when you're leaving that door, that was the best part of your day, before and after.
Mm-hmm. And the community as well, from, the small coaching groups, it's, I'm sure, I haven't experienced it in a while, but I'm sure that everybody just kind of looks forward to seeing everybody and chatting, how was your day and how was this? And obviously everybody's bantering back and forth for you guys as well, which is obviously great.
We played every Wednesday. We had a virtual meetup on Zoom. We played charades last night. So I organised movies, TV shows, stuff like that there. I actually have it all recorded, and I told them I'm going to blackmail them all with it. Yeah. And they don't get back in the gym. But it was so funny. People just willing to, have a bit of crack and a bit of banter. We've done quizzes, we've done bingos, and even the comments that we're getting from our clients now, one in particular was I sort of fell off the bandwagon and made up excuses to not go to the gym. I'd hurt myself. But one of the clients was like, listen, I haven't seen you in a while. Do you want to join in and work with me? Because we have an accountability challenge at the minute. And he was like, it's the best thing I've ever done. He says, even my wife, who goes to a rival gym, is commenting on how much stuff that we're doing for our clients, from training to, extracurricular activities like lending equipment, to going above and beyond to make sure that these people are looked after, because they're the ones that pay my bills, and they pay, my staff bills. So they're super, super important. And I think that sort of pisses my missus off sometimes, because she says that I love them more than I love her, but I love both.
Maybe during the lockdown that could be true. Everybody's just looking at each other.
Yeah, I love both.
So how would you figure out what, how often would you sit down and think, right, how can we deliver more value here? How can we deliver more value there? How often would you sit and what does that process look like?
It'll come down to either where you are in terms of delivering a product, market, product, and service. So every time you can look at the little nuances and make them better. Even now, we'd be quite sort of known for our 6-week programs. We've tried 21 days, 30 days, all these sort of things. But 6 weeks seems to be a magic number from getting someone in to, signing them up on the back end for, recurring income. And that process will look at every time that we run one of those, how can we get better? Like, we're getting to the point now where you're probably retaining 80% of the people who are coming through. So if I'm getting, 20 people through and I retain at least 16 of them at a, cost, it's usually about 120 to 140. But if I say £100, those people are worth £1,600 to me.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, that's really good. And then how we finance that is we use a client finance model. And what I mean by that is the money that we spend on marketing, we have to make money on that front end. We were always told, if you've got a big cash reserve, you can lose money on the front end. So that means if I spend £100 on Facebook ads and someone clicks an ad and it costs me £100 and I sell them a product, £100, I broke even. Yeah. Now that's okay if you've got a recurring business model that you're going to sell them into. So you can, break even in the first month. If they sign up for the second month, you're £100 up.
Yeah.
Whereas if you look at client finance acquisition, you need to price your product enough that it is costing more so that you're making money on the front end. You take that money in the front end, you reinvest it back in, and then you've got that recurring money. So for example, like the way that Facebook ads are going at the minute, because of the way the market is, it is like how much it costs you to get a click now is 50% less. So on average, a lead for us is £10. So if someone fills in a form, it's roughly around about the £10 mark. Any more than that, I sort of cut the ad off and I'll rejig it. Ads are costing me leads at £2 to £3 a lead, and I'm selling them at £100. So it means that like £100 is not a lot, but if I'm just selling people a program online, it's pretty good. So then I just reinvest that money back in, and then I get another whole host of leads. Now, not every lead is obviously going to be a winner, but pretty much the way I'm looking at it is I need to make at least one sale a day. Right? I spend about 40 quid a day on ads. If I make one sale, I'm still up 60 quid. I'm not paying staff. They're already being paid by current thing. So it's a nice wee earner that can keep me going. And I think every time you do something, you get better at it. So how we look at it is, okay, that ad didn't run well, or that program didn't run well. And we can tell because we've only got 40% of people who signed up after. Why was that? Was the product too pricey? Did we undersell ourselves? Did we not deliver to that person? And there's times where we've actually turned around to people and said, listen, I'm going to give you a free month.
Yeah.
We actually refused to let one client leave. He wanted to cancel his membership. We asked why. He was just like, oh, just money. And it's like, it's not money. What's the real issue? And he's like, oh, I thought I would have got, better results by now. Okay. Where do you think you can improve, or where do you think we can improve? And we said to him, you're not canceling your membership. Give us one more month to impress you. And we were ringing him, getting him up in the mornings, making sure he had his meals prepped, like everything else, and the weight started to come off. And again, he lasted for about 2 weeks, and then he started to go cold, distant. And I can then hold my hands up and say that,
not everything.
I did everything I could, and I can admit that. Another client, we changed the way that we train people in the gym, our philosophy with our group training. We moved more towards the weight loss as opposed to strength, and she just didn't like it. We had a couple of run-ins, and she walked out one day, and I went and had a chat with her. I was like, what do you want? She's like, I want to just lift heavy weights and do this here. And she was carrying weight. She needed to lose weight. So what I did is I went and there's a gym close by to us, which is a strength gym. Sought them out, paid for her first month.
Yeah.
And there you go. Now I know she will not leave with a sour taste in her mouth. She'll go, do you know what? That wasn't the place for me, but I can't say anything bad about them.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So yeah, you get better every time that you go through that process, even a sales call.
Yeah.
The more you do, the more rejections, almost make it into a game. See how many rejections you can get, because it then becomes fun. You're like, yes, got another one. And then that, being rejected becomes nothing. And you're like, fuck yeah. And then you'll see the sales hotting up. And And I always like to say, sales sound dirty.
Sometimes just saying that number, because so many people, I mean, I have a guy on my team, and he wouldn't even mind me saying this because we've openly discussed this lots of times. And you know, I say, look, I see you as an operations kind of guy, but I don't see you as a sales guy, because every time we start talking about money, it's funny. So, you know, instead of just talking, if you're hitting someone with a big price for a move, you know, full packing service and all that sort of stuff, he would get funny asking for that. And it is almost about, you almost have to get that, almost like just a little bit of resistance, because that's when you know you're on the right path, where it's like, people have to think about it. Seeing people just go yes straight away, you know, it's too cheap then.
Yeah.
He's funny about saying those big numbers, and then after that, dealing with the objections and dealing with what people are saying, and, you know, then selling the service, telling us what you're getting, blah blah blah, whatever. But
that could be a reason why sales go down the drain. People need to have 100,000,000% confidence in their product. And I think that's been coming through with my staff lately, because my staff are selling their family members on. They're not asking for discounts. They believe in the product 100%, and they believe in what we do. The other aspect is, like, what a lot of mistakes people make, especially in an industry like yours, is you sell benefits, right? Benefits sound good to a logical person, okay? But people don't buy on logic, they buy on emotion,
yeah.
Right? So if someone's breaking up with their partner and they need a removal and they need it done ASAP, like, they will pay what is necessary. So they're very high on the emotion scale. Now, what people will do is a bit like I do and my missus have been doing. We've been buying fucking shit online, right? We're buying for emotion because we're like, we want our house to look nice, and then we'll defy it with logic. And that's why we have a sales script, because when someone has filled in an application form, they're in pain, right? They're in some form of pain. They don't like the way they look. They don't like the way they feel. And if you ever, you know, read another book, Donald Miller, Story Brand, he's like, there's three things that happen. There is a external problem, there's an internal problem, and there's a philosophical problem. So in my industry, that would be someone doesn't like the way they look. Because they don't like the way they look, it tells them that they don't feel confident about themselves and that no one can love them and they can do this here.
Yeah.
You know, so what happens is we fix the external to fix the internal. Like, losing weight is great. Like, if they lose 3 stone, amazing. They're still the exact same person, but their confidence, you know, everything goes higher. So when we're selling stuff, and especially when we used to do transformations, if I said to you, Chris, you know, do you want to do a 12-week transformation? Okay, yeah, how much is it? And I tell you £1,200. You're like, you don't see the value in it. Right? If I say, listen, dude, I'm going to get you fucking shredded, 6-pack abs to go for Ibiza. You interested? Yeah, I'm interested, right? So you're sort of weaning them along. If I turn around to you and said, I'm going to put you through 60 of the most horrible, grueling sessions you've ever been in, you're going to be sick, you're going to be sore, you're going to hate me, you're going to be eating rabbit.
How do you appeal to me more?
Most people are just like, they'll turn off. They'll turn off. So, like, in terms of your sales process, I don't know what you guys do, but even that,
I'm still working on it and tweaking on it. Yeah,
but there is no business to business. It's business to customer. So even if you ring a business, there's a person on that other line who has to make that decision. And if you can make it a no-brainer that, listen, you've got a problem, I solve problems. You know, the people who make the most money in the world solve the big problems. That's what they do. Like, even now, I'm trying to solve a problem for people who are in isolation, who are overindulging, overeating, have no structure, and are putting on weight. And then when they leave to go out, they're not going to feel confident about themselves. They're probably in the house, bloated, going, how does my partner even look at me? How can I even have sex with my partner? Like, I'll go that deep. I'll go that fucking pain point. I will poke that. How's your sex life? What do you mean? It's just like, do you and your partner ready to have sex? Because, you know, that's usually a sign of confidence. And before they know it, once we bring them through,
because you've seen it before and you know the pain points, you probably know exactly, like, 5 minutes of conversation, how someone's feeling about the whole, about
and we know what the next stage is. You know, one of the most powerful things that I was ever told to put into a sales script was, how open minded are you? So if I asked you, how open minded are you? What would you say?
I would say I'm very open minded.
Yeah. Everyone thinks they're super progressive. Everyone thinks that they're, you know, yeah, no. Like, I'm really open minded. What are you talking about? Okay, okay, well then this product is for you. So you're getting them to say many yeses.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
then even the biggest thing as well is your industry, my industry, any industry.
My dog's going mad here. She's
But
running.
like one of the major things that people miss out on is they always hear the objection and they leave. You almost, like, I believe in my product wholeheartedly. Like, I turned around to someone who said no to me and I went, okay, well, what are you going to do instead? Sometimes you need to show people that you
push through that emotion that people are pushing back. You almost look for a better resistance because you need to sell. That's the point. You need to get the deal closed.
Yeah, so like, how long have you been feeling fucking shitty about yourself and you don't like yourself? For about 6 months. What have you done in that 6 months then? Nothing. What would you do if you get off this call and you didn't join my program? I don't know, I'll probably sit there and do the same thing. That's 6 months, that's a year that you've been sitting here thinking about this. If you don't make that decision right now, I'm going to make the decision for you. You need this product.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck, right, I do. Because people, they don't know what they want as well. And again, if you've got a service that you believe in and you're delivering that quality, and that person on the other end doesn't believe it, and you know, that person probably needs a lot more sales time, but like a sales script could be handy for them, and then it just rolls off the tongue because you understand people's problems. If that's your job, you're in an industry that people need shit moved, and it's like, okay, well, when do you need it done? What's the biggest concern?
Well, the biggest concern with them is always stress every single time. That's the emotional pain point I'm hitting. So once I start getting past that, I'm like, look, what's your biggest concern? Or like, look, I'm going to have everything out on time because it's a full day process, but there's specific times that things have to be out for, and then the house. So I need to make sure that when I leave, that even if they get to a point, you know, before I do my follow up, now again, I'll stick it down for a follow up. But if I've left, I want them to leave feeling that we can take care of the job and it's going to be stress free. That's what I promise, a stress free moving experience. So because when I walk into people's houses to do surveys and that sort of stuff, they're stressed out. They're going, Jesus, we're doing this, and we're doing that, we're packing and this and that and the other. So I go in, give them a few packing tips, tell them that, you know, if they don't want the packing service because they're trying to save a few quid, I'll be like, right, this is what you should do. This is an efficient way to pack. This is what you should be putting in this kind of box. This is what you should be putting in bags. This is what you should be doing. And I just give them little tips like that. And then once it gets to that point, I run them through the entire process of what happens on moving day. I tell them what it's going to cost, and then sometimes you have a bit of resistance there. You know, it just depends. Sometimes I'll not even bother because people tell me the budget, and we because we're trying to deliver a high level of service, it's not going to work for us. And I'll recommend them to somebody who'll do it at lower cost, but the service won't be as good. So it's given value in that for people as well. That just really helps them have a, you know, if I walk away and have a good taste in their mouth about who I am, what my business is all about, and they feel like that we can take care of what they need us to take care of, it's going to be a stress-free experience, then it's great for them.
The good thing is you're coming from that from a point of wanting to help people. Do you know that people, and this was actually proven, so waiters and waitresses, if they're in a restaurant and someone goes to, what do you recommend? And the waiter goes, do you want, I recommend this, I would probably stay away from that. They had a 70% increase in their tip. 70% increase from just being honest with people and just going, do you know what? Yeah. Get the veal tonight, the veal's fucking phenomenal. And maybe stay away from the spag ball, not that good. And people were like, fuck, great, because we're all looking direction. We're all looking herded. Like, you know, me with my clients and my staff, we all say you're either the sheep or you're the shepherd. Mm-hmm. You lead or you're led. There's no other way about it. So like, we challenge our staff on a daily to push through, like to push past myself and Lenny's point, even though our job is the marketing, sales and driving, like they've now created a sub team that they are driving. Like one of my coaches drives the other members of the team, which drives the clients, which makes my job a million times easier. But that's what we say, is just like, do you want to be a sheep? No? Well then stand up and do what you need to do to lead people, because everyone's sitting there going, oh, what do I do here? You know, so yeah, if you come from that place of trust and wanting to help, it makes it a no-brainer. And like, yeah, you're not going to be everybody's cup of tea. And as long as you realize that, that is the most powerful thing. That's what saves you time. You know, like I've had a few people, 97 quid, 100 quid. Like if we weren't in this epidemic, 99% of the population, £100 for 6 weeks is fucking nothing, right? I would never sell anywhere as cheap as that in my life. It's only because we're in this current situation. I wanted to test the waters for the market and sell them well. I'll probably do your next one at 147, but like people are being a wee bit apprehensive with their money, and so they want to feel like they're getting more value. And if you can say to them, run them through the process, here's where you're at, here's exactly what's going to happen, here's what we're going to do, and here's the outcome. As I say, it becomes a no-brainer.
Yeah. And the people ever request you, because obviously you're doing the market and you're doing the sales and that sort of stuff, and then obviously you have coaches and stuff that have bought into your philosophy about fitness, and that's how you run it. Do people ever get disappointed whenever it's not you, or do you explain that to them throughout the?
Yeah, well, we explain it to them. I do get some people who do just want to work solely with me, and there's times I would have went, I'll just keep them, but I think they understand. I'm away multiple times a year, whether it's holidays or whether it's work. So I'm constantly going to, the US for meetings, or, meeting business managers or whatever it is. Yeah. So I'm out of the country a lot. So they're not always going to get me. And then they just need to get comfortable with other people. Our job is to funnel them down. I don't want someone to pay me £500 a month. I want them onto my coaching program where they pay me £150 a month, because A, I know it's a lot more cost effective, and B, the average lifetime customer value of our clients is 9 to 12 months. Yeah. So if they're paying me £150 a month for 8 months, that you're talking what, £1,800 or £1,600? Yeah. Like they're worth £1,600 to me. Like even if they stayed on for 3 months at £500, I've actually lost money in the long term. Mm-hmm. So, and then it looks like you're just trying to get an arm out of somebody, where I'm not about that. I just tell people, listen, see, once I've taught you everything you need to know, you're no use to me. Like, and they look at me like, what do you mean? I'm just like, once I've taught you how to squat, Chris, all I'm doing now is counting reps. Okay, Chris, we're going to do 5 sets of 5. Yep, squat solid. And I'm one of these people, like, I don't talk. I know I talk a lot, but I don't talk when I'm training for the sake of it. If it looks fucking solid, it looks solid. I don't need to tell you. I'm like, dude, burn it. If it looks shit, we'll fix it. But if it doesn't, it's like, yeah. So I try and push them on, and I explain to them every single step of the way that we don't work like a normal conventional gym. We don't have personal trainers who, only train certain people. When you come and train a hybrid, you train with all of us. Yeah. So I give my staff the flexibility of having days off, times off, still getting the weights, still delivering a service that they love to do, fitness, without having to do what a personal trainer does now, which is probably working 14, 15-hour days, mornings, evening, missing their kids, putting them to bed. It's a young person's job, that sort of lifestyle, unless you have a business model that will, essentially do that. And we always tell the students who come through to become qualified, if you're doing this on a part-time basis, you're going to make more money. Yeah. And people are looking at you like, why? I was like, if you're working 9 to 5, you've got your bills paid for, you don't need to really train people. So if I say to you, Chris, I'm working 9 to 5, and you're like, I want to train me at 4. Sorry, I can't do it. Can you do 6? Yeah. So you're going to work around my schedule instead of me working around your schedule. Yeah. So now I have a secondary income that is based around times that suit me and suit my family and my lifestyle, while still having all my bills thing. It's only when you're not making money that you're willing to work every hour of every day to do those things.
Well, that's having that structure in place as well was a big thing, because when you first start the business, you're self-employed, but you're really excited. You're happy enough to work nights, you're happy enough to work weekends, and then after a while, like you say, you've got a family and all now, and then you want to maintain your lifestyle, because if you're working early mornings, late nights, which I was doing when I first started, I had a 9 to 5 job. I was doing deliveries at night, and the energy was just there. You were just constantly at it, and then all of a sudden you transitioned. Whenever I quit my job and went into full time, and then started working on the business side of it, I found myself still doing nights and weekends and Sundays and stuff. And then eventually I was like, no, we need to have a structure in place. This is our dispatch time. This is our arrival time. And I'm very upfront. People are like, well, what doesn't, can you make it any later? I'm like, no, this is our dispatch time. This is what time my guys are in. So this is what time they're arriving at the move, because X, Y, and Z. You know, we don't work around people as much as we used to, because you end up working. Then the guys end up working to 7 or 8 o'clock at night. Then I'm stuck there taking phone calls. I mean, you don't have a structure in place for your business. Everything just falls apart.
Yeah.
And everybody gets stressed out, including me, including the staff, and then the client as well. Who wants to have removals men in their house at 8 or 9 o'clock at night putting together beds? It's the last thing you want. But
Yeah.
once you started getting the guys in, and like, right, this is our standard working times. Now and again, we might have to work a little bit later, but everybody will know in advance, and the boys are happy enough for that. You know, if you want to work Saturdays, there's probably going to be work there. If you want to do it, you can do it. I won't be working because I'm taking weekends off now, and that's just the way we run things. Because you need to have, you know, there's a lot of hustle culture on Instagram. You know, you're 16, and that's fine at the start. But once you start getting business in and you have the leads there, you need to set a structure in place, because then your health starts to suffer, your fitness starts to suffer, and all the things outside of work that are really important are not getting done. And
Yeah.
I notice whenever I'm, you know, sometimes I edge back into those really big days, and then all of a sudden I'm only going to the gym once or twice a week instead of the 5 days that I like to. And then I know I need to reevaluate something, and I look at the numbers and go, what's going on here, right? Why are we working so much there? Why are we working so much there? And it's just about constant tweaking and tracking, and just making sure that things are working for you. Because at the end of the day, your business needs to work for you as well as you working for it.
100%. And again, as you say, you start with that hustle and grind, and there's days where I still think that I'm doing that. You know, even the last mentor.
You just have to get there and do it though. Like,
Yeah.
times like this.
I remember the last mentoring session. I had a conversation. And I was saying, I'm the jack of all trades. I'm the person who'll carry the water and, you know, make sure everything's done. If I have to do, you know, IT, or I have to do training people, I have to do this. And it was also the fact that, you know, I have a lot of time. Like, I was thinking, like, there was another question he asked me, is like, where are you getting gold stars from? From either A, people that don't matter, or you know, like, for the wrong reason. So, like, I'm probably getting gold stars from my staff, thinking, fuck me, he's still here. Like, he's been here all day, right? Which I don't need their approval, right? I warrant it because, like, I stand up, I do what I fucking have to do, and I push the team. But, like, if I don't have to be their friend that day, you know, I'll tell them the hard truth. The other thing was, even though I was there all day, I wasn't productive. I was probably productive for small parts of the day, and, you know, the rest of the day I frivoled.
You're wearing it like a badge of honor. It's like, I'm working
Yeah.
hardest here, and again, that comes back to your ego. It's like, well, yeah, but you're seeking the approval of your staff, and you're going, well, I'm here at this time and going there at that time. Well, like I say, the whole point of having the business is to work on what you need to be working on and delegate the rest, because it's not sustainable working like that. It's not.
Yeah, and the good thing is, like, I'm really open with my staff. Like, I tell them where we are revenue wise, where we need to get to. Like, we openly give them, you know, good benefits. Like, we took 2 of them to a retreat in San Diego last year, paid, all expenses paid, for just bossing the coaching aspect. We pay for their certification courses and stuff as well, but they must prove to me that A, the certification is worth doing, and B, that they come back and they teach the rest of the staff. So as a cohesive unit, we get better. You know, what, like, if you tell me, listen, I've seen this awesome course, I want to do it, you know, it's on fucking, I don't know, jiu-jitsu movement thing. Okay, well, how's that going to benefit my business? And you tell me, and I go, okay, well, that does have some relevance. I'm gonna pay for that course for you. You know, so, like, we invest regularly, and if we go back to, you know, way back to where we were talking about bringing on staff, there's 2 restaurateurs, 2 chefs that work in, that train in my place, 2 Michelin star restaurants, and they are just paid off with staff just constantly having turnover. And he was like, are you not worried about all the money you invest in your staff and then it's walking out that door? I says, of course I am, but I can't think like that. If I think like that, I have a scarcity mindset. I'm willing to invest thousands into my staff so they are the best. Now, one of them, you know, a year ago decided that he wanted to open his own business. Grand. Like, I'll teach him everything he needs to know, because if I don't, you know, he's going to leave anyway. Whereas at that time where I'm teaching him, I'm still going to get the best out of him. So you are going to have a natural turnover, and you do have to trust people. And sometimes people let you down, and it's a test of your character of how you deal with it. And you just, that's it. It's trust. You know, you gotta. If the main thing you talk about is your mission statement. What is your goal? What do you put on this earth to do? And what fucking gets you a heart on like nothing else? Like that, you wake up, that's the first thing that you want to do. That is your passion. That's what you follow. And then when you relay that message down, and what marketing is as well, is you being able to deliver that message in a small, bite-sized manner that is very understandable for people. And when people know the mission, they can buy into the mission. If you're just like, oh, our job is to train people, like my staff know how many people we want to help in the next 5 years. They know, like one of them asked me, like, what do you want from your business? I said, over my 3 businesses, the next 5 years, I want to turn over £1 million. That's not £1 million profit, that's turning over £1 million. And he was like, how do you plan on doing that? I said, by helping people. And he went, that's not how it works. And I was like, yes, it is. Fucking, there's a marketer called Zig Ziglar, right, who has a famous quote that I live by. To get everything that you want in life, you help others get what they want. Mm-hmm. That's life. You help your friend and he returns the favor. You help someone and you get them a result and you fucking try everything in your power. They will reward you, whether it's with cash, with friendship, whatever it is. Like I have a client who, he owns a business and he owns a clothing manufacturing business, and he, distributes to some of the biggest stores here in the UK. And he cancelled his membership. He's been paying me for like 4 years, like £300 a month. There's times it didn't turn up. I'm like, what are you doing? Trying to get it back. And he's like, I need to cancel. The business is in a bad way. And he sort of went cold on me. I kept contact with him. Do you need help with training while we're in isolation? And he was like, have you any equipment? And I told him what I had left. Drove over, let him take the equipment, and he gave me clothes. I was like, what are you doing? He's just like, I just wanted to say thank you. And like, the clothes are fucking nice, like, do you know what I mean? And I'm not doing it for that reason.
Yeah.
But like, he felt that he wanted to reciprocate something to me, and that's the first rule.
That's a natural reaction for people, just to reciprocate.
Yeah. That's it. If you read Cialdini's book, Influence, the first rule,
psychology of persuasion,
is reciprocity. Give a gift to get a gift. If I said to you, Chris, listen, if you said to me, sorry, listen, PJ, can you help us move this sofa? I'm just moving, and I go and help you. Brilliant. Like, you're like, thank you. But what that usually means, 9 times out of 10, is when I asked you for a favor, my favor could be 10. My favor could be 10 times bigger, and you will feel inclined
to do it.
Whatever that favor. Okay, so the same way that we run a 21-day fitness challenge to raise money for small businesses in and around us, like we were going, the training's free, but it's a donation, right? And we're going to donate this money. I think we raised roughly about £1,000. So like 5 £200 vouchers are going to go to those businesses, right? So like, people are going, why are you doing this? I was like, because I think we're going to be okay. I want to prove to people that we care about other people. It's not just about us. We want to help other people. So yeah, it all comes down to that. People first, systems,
Jesus, that's a lot to take in.
Yeah, you look at it from that. There's stages. We have, people who've been with us who've been mentoring under us for 2-3 years, and one of them, I messaged. I'd seen one of his Facebook ads and told him what was wrong and what he needed to change, and he was just like, this. It just never ends. And I was like, yeah, it's like what we teach you is at the level you're at. And then we teach you, once you learn that, then you move to the next level. And it comes down to something I heard a coach say before. You always hear in my industry, in the fitness industry, people go and do a fitness course. Say they do one of my kettlebell courses. And they'll be like, that's the best course I've ever done in my life. Mm-hmm. It's probably not been the best course. It was the best course pitched at the level that you're at right now, in a manner that you're able to take on board. And what that means is,
the atmosphere as well, maybe with the other people. I'd say it's a great atmosphere in your gym whenever you're teaching courses.
Yeah, like I've been to courses where I just didn't understand why I was there. I was thinking that if I went to this, it shows that I'm thinking that I'm better than other people. I'm learning this more really advanced stuff. And I was nowhere near the level to take that information in, process that information, and then know what to do with it. And that's what's happening with like people out there right now. They're looking at everybody putting out fitness content and going, there's videos out there, but do you know what that's for or why they're doing it? Or would you want something that's a wee bit more catered towards you? Or in terms of my mentoring clients, we're really working on your developing leads, because leads and sales are the number one thing in your business first.
Absolutely lifeblood of your business.
Yeah. Once we nail that down, culture, community, spirit, everything is super important here. But we need to get those people in, and then we need to find a way to buy them in. So we need to find a way to market, sale, and fulfill. And all the other stuff, all the other processes, the systems we use, like how to get better at them, they will all come when you've reached the next level. Once you've reached that level, we can scale it up a bit. Because, we don't know everything, and we're still mentoring people, but we're still spending, tens of thousands a year to learn more. So that we can pass that information on. And you look at it from a legit source. If I'm telling someone about Facebook ads, you can guarantee that I've spent hundreds of thousands, and I can tell you I've spent hundreds of thousands on Facebook ads in the last 10 years. So I know what I've spent money on wrong. I know that what I can improve on, and now I got to a point where you've got that finite system where you account for every penny that comes into your business. You know how much you're making on the front end, the back end, what your numbers are. Sorry for going off there on a bit of a tangent.
Absolutely, far away. I see, just as you were talking about, people leaving and stuff there, I see had a guy the same sort of thing. But I think a lot of people leave thinking it's going to be easier to work for yourself. And he had kind of went off and said, I'm going to go and buy my own van and do my own thing. And I said, look, that's fair enough, no problem. I was like, anything you need, just give us a shout, I'll help you out. He went and bought his van, and he threw up a few ads, got a bit of work, and then it dried up, and there's no consistency. And that's kind of renowned in our industry. There is a busy period, and then there's just a slightly quieter period. But there's also, you need to know how to price things properly. You need to know how to price your own time right. Walking away after a full day of work with like 100 quid, and I was like, what about your diesel? What about your advertising? What about all that sort of stuff? And the next thing he was like, Jesus, maybe he's only made 40 quid for the day. So I kind of helped him to and from what he was doing. And there's a lot goes into it. And then the next thing his van broke down, £400 bill. And I was like, you need to account for all these things in your pricing. You can't just go out and go £20 just to get a job. When you're at the very start, you're doing the real small jobs. It's like you can't do that, because you think you're making money because you've got the cash in your hand, but then when you get hit with your first month of expenses or your first van breakdown, you realize you're actually fucked. So
and that's it. Every industry in this world needs a recurring income, and the fucking best people in the world at this is Amazon are just unreal. Jeff Bezos is unreal. Even look at somebody like Disney now. Disney have a product that will sell forever. And now what they've done is they've capitalized on it. They've bought Fox. They've put all that product into an online streaming service. So if you want to watch Disney stuff and your kids are going to want to watch it, and I'm watching Marvel and everything else, I'm going to pay that recurring fee every single month to watch those films. And it's going to be a nominal amount that I don't even think about it. That's what Pure Gym do in my industry. It's it's a nominal amount. People don't turn up and they still get money every day. But as you say, if you're relying on sale to sale, paycheck to paycheck, at some point you're going to run out of lives. And as you say, if you hit that period where it's quiet, or he tries to replicate your model and your sales prices without all that backing, all that authority, you build that confidence in knowing your product, what you sell, what you deliver, it's not going to match. Because why I had a client come to me and they're like, oh, do you know this other gym? And they told me the name of the gym. I was like, yes, I know it well, because I actually mentor the actual owners of it. And they're like, they only charge X amount for like what you do. And I was like, do they do what I do though? Well, yeah. And I was like, but do they? And to try to proceed to explain to me why, I was like, do you know what? Go and try. Right? I'll speak to the guys for you. Go and try it and tell me, do they do what I do? I'm not 100% confident that no one does what I do. Right? And the reason why, it's the way that I package it. Right? Nothing in fitness has changed in 20 years. Right? There is no super magical move. There is no super magical food that is going to get you results. So what we do is we have to repackage it and rebrand it into something that is, completely different. And the best marketers in the world do that. There's a guy, Greg O'Gallaghan, his website's called Kino Body. I love him. Super cheesy, but the way that guy markets is phenomenal. Like I posted one of his videos on for our mentoring group, and it was pretty much he had his avatar. He explained what his situation was. He says, I was like you once. I was the dude that was turning up and doing cardio in the morning, training legs and upper body in the evening, eating 6 meals a day, but I wasn't getting anywhere. I wasn't getting the results. I wasn't going out drinking. I had a shit social life. And then what I started to do is I started to research, how the old people, the old strong men, how they did it. And he's sitting there on a bench with a laptop and all these things are coming up and it looks class. And he's like, I've literally cracked the code to getting people results. I can almost guarantee that I can get you results with this program. Sold it. And I'm sitting there going, fuck me, what has he found? Like, has he found the holy grail of products? And guess what? It was fucking intermittent fasting, training 3 times a week in the gym. But it's the way that he packaged it that made me want it. That made me go, oh, he has the secret, the secret sauce. And people don't, if you don't know the marketing end of it, you don't know that front end, it doesn't matter. Because at the end of the day, if he's got a van and you've got a van, what separates you? The same way I say to my mentees, you're a personal trainer, I'm a personal trainer. So tell me why people would not want to train me. And they make up all the excuses. They're like, oh, well, you've got more experience than me. No. We both have the same fucking piece of paper. You both have a piece of white band. It could be your product, what you sell, what the aftercare program, the way you carry yourself.
How you sell it. It's the 100%.
So there's nothing new out there. We're all selling the same fucking shit. It's just how we do it and how we look after people.
It's like I was saying earlier on, that when I transitioned from just hourly rate to package work, it was completely different. The things just changed instantly, and it's not because we're doing anything different, not because we're pricing ourselves out. It's how I come up with a price, and then beforehand you're going through. This is what we're delivering. This is what you get on the day. This is what you get beforehand. This is what you get after. Now and again, if I'm feeling really generous, I'll throw in a few freebies, a few boxes or whatever, just depending on who it is. But it's how you lay it out and how you say it. It's the questions you ask beforehand. Is this what you need? Is this what's your budget? You need to come up with a package that is going to suit them. But you need to walk away from it knowing that their problem, i.e. in my case, it's the stress, is going to be taken care of. And if they walk away from that thinking it's a good deal and their stress is going to be taken care of, it's a no-brainer. Because most people just walk in, and I'm not just talking about removals. I'm talking about plumbers and painters and all sorts. There's no follow-up. There's no thoughts about actual sales. There's no thought about follow-up. They're just going in and going. They're just taking a quick look around, going, "That'll cost you 500 quid," and then they're going away, and they don't even follow up with the customer the next day. They say, "Well, what did you think of that quote?" Whereas mine's coming through in the system. It's getting sent to their email. They can accept it online. Having that structure for people is making my life a lot easier, but it's also making it easier for them. And even if it's going to cost a little bit more, if it's easier for them to do it, and they know they're going to get a great service, they're 9 times out of 10 they're going to take it.
100%. Your job is
convenience.
Your job is to make solve a problem or make something easier than it would naturally be. I'll tell you a couple of DIY mishaps that I've had. Right, I'm not great with DIY. I fucking hate painting. I hate doing DIY shit. Last year I decided, I'm gonna dig up my garden. I'm gonna level it off. That's about what I fucking know. Google a couple of things, get some sand, get some turf, level it off, get a whacker plate, do all this here shit. And then my partner was like, I was like, I want to put down AstroTurf. Spoke to a guy who knows what he's talking about, and he came to my house, and I was just like, I leveled it off. I've got a whacker plate, I've done all this here. And he was like, okay, what are you looking to do? I was like, I don't know, I think I want to put AstroTurf down. She wants to dig up, she wants to put down, concrete slabs. And he just busted out laughing. I was like, why? He says, what did you spend on that turf and sand and everything else and the whacker plate? I said, but 150 quid. And he was like, dig it all up. I was like, why? He says, if you're putting down that, you need to dig this up. So again, complete mishap. Same thing that happened with painting. it's bank holiday weekend. I'll paint. Fuck, I'll not pay anybody. I'll paint. A day in, 2 days in, the bank holiday's over. You haven't enjoyed it. You're like, fuck me, I have to go back to work here. Why fuck that idea? I'm just going to pay somebody. So paid someone to do it. Right? The garden looks fucking phenomenal. Like, I'm glad I did it. Because now I can go out there and train on, beautiful astroturf, railway sleepers, nice trellises, fucking plants everywhere. It looks like fucking amazing, right? And got someone in to paint the house. It saves you time and money.
Well,
in the long term, it saves you money. Like it cost me up front, but in the long term, it saved me hassle, and that's what people are going to buy. And
and
just
as your time is highly valued now because of what you do, and the amount of time you spend trying to figure out, is that the right gloss, is that the right man? Because I don't have a clue either. My brothers are painting, I don't have a clue. Same with gardening. Done a little bit of landscaping out in Australia a few years ago. The amount of time you spend on YouTube trying to go right, doing this and doing that, and then digging it up, and that looks shit, and then you go fuck off to take it back out again.
Yeah.
Like the amount of time you spend compared to how much it's going to cost. It might cost you a little bit extra, but you're going to save 10 hours of time, and that's how I would view it. Because
that's the only currency in this world that you cannot buy back. Time, and you can have all the money in the world, but you can't buy time. Same quote that Steve Jobs had put out about, he had all the money in the world, but it doesn't buy him, non-cancer free.
That's something on their deathbed, what do they value more?
100%.
But, so, Jesus, we've been talking for over an hour. So I'm going to finish this off with a quick, there's 15% of people that actually stay and listen to the end of a podcast. So what do you want to say to those 15% who have sat and listened to us talk shit? Good shit though. It's been good shit. It's been really, really good stuff.
Yeah, I've done webinars. I've done things where I've talked for an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. It pretty much comes down to the content and what you want to get from the actual podcast. If you know exactly that, if you want from this podcast, based on what we've been talking about, is somewhere that knows where to start in terms of your business, what matters, what's important, and where you want to go, then obviously, this is something you need to listen to. And again, people listen to the most random stuff. I'll sit and listen to, podcasts on people's death. Or I love Joe Rogan because he just has a wide diversity of people on. And I sat and listened to him and Mel Gibson talking about stem cells once, and then I might watch his MMA one, or I might watch the coronavirus one. So it's pretty much, think of anything you do, it has to serve your time. The same way in my industry, if I put any content out, I need to think of, why am I putting this content out? Who is it going to serve? Is it going to benefit my business? And does it move the prospect further towards making an action or decision towards my business? So and if this helps someone, or someone needs help in terms of fitness, or wants to become a personal trainer, or learn how to run a business, we don't just help personal trainers. We're actually helping a client of ours who's actually a wedding planner about how to improve their business. We've helped various hotels in terms of how to improve their marketing and where the holes in their business are. And that all comes from us investing shit tons of money in other industries. And money's universal across the board in any industry.
Yeah, no problem. And I'll put a link to all your stuff, all your pages, Elite Fitness. I'll put it the Hybrid. I'll put it the socials underneath all the podcast and YouTube. But look, thank you very much for coming on. Great conversation. I don't even know where that time went, but I learned a lot as well, just about how well you know your numbers and your business, and how well you know how you market and leads. It was really, really helpful even for me. So
if you want any further more stuff on that, I recommend a guy called Dan Fleshman. Listen to him speak there a while back, and last year he spent 60 million. I was at the High Status Summit there in LA in January. He spoke out. He said he spent 60 million a year on influencers, social media influencers. He spent 8 to 12 million on the Kardashians. He pays makeup artists the most amount of money than fitness influencers and so forth. But in his talk, he just spoke solely about numbers. And he was the youngest ever CEO of a public trading company at 24 years of age. The guy is numbers driven, and if you listen to him, so down to earth and technical that you're just missing a trick if you're not doing the stuff that he's telling you to do.
Yeah. Brilliant. Dan Fleshman or Fleischman, do you call it?
Dan Fleshman, yeah. So it'll be like FLEYCH or SHMAN.
Brilliant. I'll have to get a list of those books off you as well.
Cool, no worries, bud.
Yep, have a good one. Thanks.